are a parent of a teenager, I want you to listen up because I'm going to be talking about adolescent sleep this time. The biggest thing I want to encourage parents out there of adolescents to know about is this biological shift that all teenagers experience that starts to impact their sleep. This biological shift is called the circadian phase delay. What that means is that we all have a 24-hour rhythm to our sleep-wake cycles. So our bodies are more primed to be asleep at certain times of the day, usually during the night, and awake at other times of the day. And that is driven by the light-dark cycle of the earth. So bright light tells us to be awake, dark tells us to be asleep. For adolescents, though, there's this little shift that goes on that encourages their bodies to be awake later into the evening. So with the onset of puberty, teenagers start to notice that they feel less sleepy at their normal bedtimes, and it is harder for them to fall asleep. They'll also notice that it is harder to wake up in the morning. Usually they want to sleep in longer because they've been awake later into the evening. And so this is a very natural biological shift. Oftentimes these teenagers get words thrown around like lazy or like they are oppositional. In reality, though, this is a very natural process. So most of the time, this is not a big deal if they're allowed to sleep when they need to. The problem is that early school start times mean that a teenager oftentimes has to be awake during their biological night, which means that their bodies think that it is the middle of the night when they have to wake up for school. And so generally when we're woken up in the middle of the night, we don't feel our best, we don't think very well, and it's really hard to get moving. And so teenagers are really experiencing that in these early morning hours of the school day. It also means that because they're feeling less sleepy at the beginning of the night and they have to wake up early, they're not getting enough sleep. So usually most of our teenagers are actually not getting the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And this is a problem because we have a bunch of sleep-deprived kids out there who already struggle to regulate their emotions, who already struggle to make decisions because their brains aren't fully developed yet. On top of that, they're also very, very sleepy. And so we can't really be surprised that they really struggle during the day in terms of academics. Their health might struggle. Their ability to get along with others might struggle because they're really, really tired. So the question is, what do we do about this? There are many things that we can do about it. The first that I'll just get out of the way is that we have to change school start times. And so this happens on a much higher level than most of us are in charge of, but we need to be talking to our leadership in school districts and encouraging later district start times for schools. Other than that, what can we do? We can encourage as much consistency as possible. So we need to try to get kids into bed earlier than where they're usually falling asleep, but we have to be cognizant that we're kind of fighting against their biology with this. So we have to be really diligent about being very consistent. So a consistent wake up time every morning, consistent bedtime every evening, and really encouraging a very solid wind down routine so that kids can be primed for bedtime. A big factor that everybody talks about is screen time. And I'm not going to belittle that. I think that many of our kids are spending too much time on screens, especially right before bed. But I also know that those screens are an important part of their social functioning. It might be an important part of their relaxation strategies. And so to tell kids not to do the things that they enjoy the most right before bed is going to start conflict, and it oftentimes is not going to be really the key to getting a good night's sleep because they're already not feeling sleepy to begin with. So we want to negotiate kind of a middle ground here. Ideally, for screens to be shut down an hour or so before bed. If that's not realistic, then 30 minutes before bed. I really encourage parents to have no screens in the bedroom during the night rule. So maybe charging it elsewhere. Everybody charges their phones on the kitchen counter, and parents really need to be the models for their kids and show them how they shut down at night and model that healthy bedtime routine as well. Sleeping in on the weekends can be helpful if kids are really sleep deprived, but it also can make it harder to get up on Monday morning. And we have kind of this jet lag effect during the first part of the week because our schedules are dysregulated. So I encourage parents to try to get kids enough sleep during the week. So no early extracurricular activities. If you have to be in school at a early time, then we make that happen, but we let the kids sleep as long as they possibly can. We want to think about bright lights in the morning so that they can get signals to their bodies to start waking up. Sometimes a timed light can be really helpful with this. Opening the curtains and the blinds, being really open to morning walks and bright light in the morning. And then we need to be winding down, like I said, at a consistent time in the afternoon. Negotiate these rules with kids and a healthy routine in advance before it's nighttime and you guys are in conflict, because parents want kids to wind down and kids don't really feel like they're able to wind down. So have rules, be able to plan in advance so that the conflict doesn't arise at night. I have created an adolescent sleep guide. So if you click on the link in my bio, you can be connected to that adolescent sleep guide to help you kind of problem solve some of this stuff with your kids. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'd love to hear your response to this, and if you have any ideas for helping to navigate these sleep related changes, I would love to hear. All right, take care of yourselves.